Welcome back to Bravo Breaking News with Kim and Lisa. On this week's Real Housewives of Orange County, the truth is kind of coming out about all of the naked, wasted drama.
Yeah, so Katie is exposing what Gretchen really told her about that night. Gretchen cannot seem to keep her stories straight, and it's an absolute mess, also extremely dark.
Yeah, so you mean to tell me that Katie is lying, Gretchen is lying, Jen is also lying, and Tamra is actually the only one telling the truth about this situation, but also very well might have roofied Gretchen?
No, honestly, there's so much to break down. Like, cue the red string conspiracy theory board as I'm trying to keep track of all of this. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss any Bravo breaking news.
Okay, so of course, everybody's waking up in New Orleans after the dinner party from hell. Tamra's storming off. Jen is waking up with her voodoo doll, which is like named after her, which did confuse me. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention last week, but I thought that you were supposed to have voodoo dolls like for other people. But anyway, they're kind of all talking to their spouses. We get Gretchen actually FaceTiming Slade too, who has a mustache, which was a bit of a jump scare. But like breaking down all of these scenes after we know what we know now is honestly really kind of triggering for me, because we have Gretchen saying to Slade, like, Tamra just dropped this absolute bombshell on me and is trying to like turn me against Katie. Meanwhile, like now that I'm saying this in the back of my head, we know that Gretchen did tell Katie that this happened. And it almost, okay, tell me if I'm crazy, but Tamra like going to Gretchen and saying, hey, this is what I'm hearing, like is almost like more of a better friend than what Katie did.
I don't know, I guess. I honestly, for some reason, this is so hard for me to follow. But yeah, I mean, and the more we're getting into it and learning like what actually went down, I do feel like Gretchen and Slade cooked this up. Okay, I think that they cooked this up. Who knows how many years ago, how many years in the making this has been. They saw this as an opportunity to come in and infiltrate and talk about this story. What I want to know is, like, we're still unclear on if Gretchen actually was drugged, right? Like, according to Tamra, of course not. According to Gretchen, maybe. Like, at one point she says, I did go to the hospital the next day. And then in the confessional, she's saying, I should have gone to the hospital the next day. Like, she at least needs to keep it straight. But I can definitely see Slade playing a big part of this.
Tell me more.
Yeah, I know. Katie, Slade in his like fake, it looks like a fake mustache. He looks like Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. I could not take it seriously. Katie is saying, plain and simple, I did not tell Kiki this information. And then I love that they brought up Tamra fleeing Bali, like, you know, season 8 or whatever it was, where she says, you'll never see my face again, and runs off. And Shannon's like, we did in fact see her face again very shortly after that, because the same thing happened in this episode. She says, peace out, I'm out, posts on Instagram, quitting for the world to see, and then just picks up filming again when she's back in Los Angeles, in Orange County. Like, and we don't see the producers asking her about it. Like, it's just nothing. It's not addressed.
Nope, not addressed. She's like, I had to take a week off and now I'm good. I had to take a week off, film my podcast, do some therapy, and you know, I'm back and it's all good. So yeah, I don't know. But like, that's honestly like the least of our worries right now. Like, I don't even know. Did you get a chance to watch the preview for next week?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'll fill you in.
Do my homework.
I'll fill you in at the end of this, because we do see Kiki Monique make an appearance. She sits down with Gretchen, and we'll get into what she said. But let's I don't want to jump ahead too far. Let's break down the rest of the episode. So the ladies are, I don't know, they're waking up, they're starting their day in New Orleans. They get in the car, they're actually heading to their alligator airboat adventure. Then we get Gina now saying that she has now called the journalist who Kiki has talked to, and the journalist confirmed that Katie did in fact say this about Gretchen. So there,
Who is this reputable journalist? Like, is this Anderson Cooper? Like, who is it?
I don't know who the reputable journalist is. I don't know if we'll ever know. If you are the reputable journalist or know the reputable journalist, please know that we need you to come out and speak up. But I do think that we get answers to where that doesn't even matter towards the end of this. But I don't know. I mean, they're also basically saying like Tamra's copping out, for her mental health. Like she's posting about it on Instagram. And if you were really having mental health issues, you wouldn't be posting about it. She's doing it for attention. And, as soon as they try to hold her accountable for something, she flees. And I feel like I have been saying that for like at least 2 years now.
Yeah.
She is the person that dishes it, but absolutely cannot take it when it is thrown back in her face. And
No, I mean, that is a classic Tamra move. When things get tough, when she gets pushed into a corner, she's just going to say, fuck it, I'm out, and exit the situation. She's going to disengage a la Meredith Marks. And everyone seems like they're kind of over it because no one's really like that concerned about her. They're just like, all right, well, she, I guess, just got caught or something. And I don't know. It's clear everyone's annoyed. And then for some reason, Shannon is late, right? And Gina calls her, or she calls Gina. They're in the car. Gina is clearly annoyed because Shannon's crying. We don't understand, like, we don't get to hear why Shannon is crying at that point. And Gina's just like, all right, take a deep breath. Okay, it's going to be fine. And then they get there and she's only 20 minutes late, right? Like, that's not that big of a deal. No, I'm sorry, not Heather. Emily is like, let's go. She missed the boat, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, she's 2 minutes away. Like, calm down. These girls could never deal with Lisa Hochstein in Miami. Like, imagine that. 2-3 hours late, forget it. They'd be losing their goddamn minds. P.S. Is this crocodile thing the whole time I'm thinking, like, is this how Lana Del Rey met her husband? And like, what if Shannon like fell in love with a crocodile airboat guy?
I love that you brought this up. It's a very strong possibility because, yeah, I mean, Lana is now married to like a guy who does this for a living. Are we sure about that? And did they meet in New Orleans?
I feel like they did. I don't know. I'm not like super up to date on it all, but I think yes. I think it is that simple.
I wouldn't put it past her. I do love that connection. But yeah, this is an interesting kind of field trip for the ladies because Gina has chosen it because it scares her and she has anxiety. So she's like, why not confront the anxiety head on? But also proceeds to have an anxiety attack on the boat before they even go to see the crocodiles, or alligators, whatever they are. So right. It's just a big mess. She says there's too much going on, and I get it, Gina. I get it. There's too much going on. Like, you don't need to deal with Shannon too. And Shannon just seems like an absolute mess right now, guys. But I don't hate her as much as everybody else seems to hate her. The consensus online is like everybody is over Shannon's shtick. I still find it a little endearing and funny. But I don't know. How are you feeling about Shannon?
I don't know. I was kind of over it too. Like, just get yourself ready. Just get yourself there. Like, this is a job. But like the putting on the lashes in the car at the stoplight, losing the glue. I mean, it's just so funny. And then she gets out of the car and she's wearing these ridiculous, like 4-inch pin stiletto boots. It's like, I'm sorry, why did you think that was a good idea to go to a swamp with alligators? Like, she's teetering down the little ramp, you know. It is kind of, I don't know.
Well,
I'm kind of getting over it.
why do all the women think they need to put on lashes for this airboat ride? Like,
They're going to be wearing sunglasses for.
yeah, that seems to be a consistent worry among the group at this point. But they do proceed off into the swamp. They see a couple gators, and then did you catch the moment where the guide is saying, they're asking about families. Oh, where's the dad? And he's like, pretty much every alligator dad is a deadbeat dad. Cut to Gretchen instantly. Like the editors, come on, editors, like throw her a bone. Don't throw her under the bus like that. Like that was shady AF.
So effing shady. Like, come on. But yeah, I mean, these editors, they got to earn their keep. But yeah, like, Gina's just totally having a meltdown. And I think she's tired of everyone kind of looking to her to like be the person who's calming everyone down in the group. And it's like, it reminded me of Mean Girls, like Gretchen Wieners has cracked. It's like Gina Kirschenheiter has cracked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. She's kind of like almost, I guess this is her trip. So she's kind of like spearheading everything happening on this trip. So let's jump over to dinner. The ladies get back from the boat ride, get ready for dinner. And there is a lot of things brought up at this dinner, but of course, also all of the naked wasted stuff gets brought back up once again.
Yeah. So first, Heather and Emily start going at it, and I don't even know about what. Like, what happened? Heather was like, you know what? You need to stop making fun of me. And I didn't even like catch what Emily had done. Gina is literally choking to the side of them, and they're just arguing about like who's making fun of who. And no, that's my sense of humor. And okay, you know what? I will be better about that. And we just see Gina like, help me. And I'm sorry, but these are the moments that I love. Like, this is what makes it fun to watch because they're so caught up in their own stupid drama that, like, they're completely oblivious to whatever else is happening around them. And it's funny. I'm sorry. It's funny.
No, it is funny. And like, I feel like, don't we have enough to deal with right now? Like, do you got to bring this up right now, Heather? Like, I know that they have like a long-standing issue because of, I don't even know why they don't have more of an issue because Emily supposedly talked shit about Heather in front of her kids. And then her kids told Katie's daughter or whatever that storyline is that we're no longer dealing with. But anyway, so they get to the dinner table. And of course, the whole drama gets brought up. And
yeah,
it's very specific what Gina has found out.
Right. So Gina says, Katie, I did end up calling the journalist because I just needed answers. I couldn't go to sleep last night without getting answers, right? So the journalist apparently told Gina that precisely 7 minutes into Katie's lunch with Kiki Monique, Katie brought up naked wasted. She told Kiki, allegedly, that Gretchen was roofied and went to the hospital. And I can't remember if this was when we found out that allegedly there were drugs in her system or not. But like Katie says that literally just didn't happen. And Gretchen's sitting there like, okay, well, where's the proof? Like, I'm not going to be mad at my friend Katie because there's no proof of this. So this is where it starts to get suspicious because Gretchen is really giving a free pass to Katie. And if she really didn't have any part of this, I think she would be going after Katie. Like, what? Are you effing serious? You know what I mean? So I don't know. How did you read this situation?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I didn't even really think that Gretchen and Slade could be behind this, but you're making a lot of sense and you are making a valid point because the fact that Gretchen isn't more upset with Katie is definitely very suspicious. Then we have people being like, well, call Kiki. And Katie's like,
right.
Just like takes the, like, pleads the fifth, basically. She says nothing. She's like, like, she doesn't even say, no, I'm not going to. They just kind of like brush over it. She doesn't even attempt to go call Kiki. And then we find out that they all had dinner at Mastro's, and Gretchen did say that that night she got really sick. She never said the word roofied though, and she went to the hospital, got a toxicology report. There were drugs in her system, and that's it. I think we hear that from Katie in a confessional at this moment,
Okay.
maybe. And it is still suspicious that now that we know, allegedly, that Gretchen did tell Katie this, and then Gretchen continues to perpetuate, like, why are you trying to turn me against Katie? Katie has never done anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely starting to get suspicious. Like, my brain is working overtime right now with your new theory, honestly.
Right, because, okay, but then Katie is like, I'm taking all the heat for this, right? And she's taken a lot of the heat before, and it's been valid. So, as an audience, I'm watching this thinking that Katie is absolutely lying again, because it literally is take two of when they were at the spa resort or whatever, Golden Door, and they're like asking her, did you call this journalist and say this? And she's like, no, that never happened. And they're like, okay, well, then show us the DMs. And she's like, I literally don't have service, you guys. I wish I could. Can't do it. And I'll show you later, but never does. It's giving that when she's like, no, I'm not going to call Kiki. Like, I'm sure she doesn't want to talk about it. But this whole time, now we're finding out that it seems like Katie just volunteered to be the fall man, or Gretchen somehow made her the fall man and Katie's just going with it. Like, this is the one part where I don't really understand. And when Katie gets home and she's talking to her husband, Matt, and he confirms, like, well, you didn't make this up. Like, yeah, Gretchen and Slade were talking about this at dinner with you and me and Jen and Ryan. Jen is denying it. And Katie in the confessional is saying, I'm tired of covering up for Gretchen, for Slade, and for Jen. So it's just everyone's lying.
So, would the end goal then be to try to take down Tamra? If Gretchen is accusing Tamra, because at the end of the day, there's all these people involved, but at the end of the day, this is between Gretchen and Tamra. And Gretchen is accusing Tamra of drugging her that night. So in order for Gretchen, or, for the goal for her to be bringing this up and spreading it amongst the group is to try to take down Tamra for something that she did to her, right? So,
yes.
Like, I feel like
hate each other. So it's like, I feel like her and Slade have been sitting on this for a long time, and they're like, now's our moment. This is our opportunity. We only get one shot. You better lose yourself. But what I don't understand is how Katie became the fall guy.
Well, and I also don't understand why when Tamra brought this up in New Orleans to Gretchen all of a sudden acted like amnesia, like, oh, that never happened, and two, I never said that, instead of being like, if she really wanted to cause a storyline and cause drama, she would have been like, well, didn't you? Like, so I just don't know. This is all so confusing.
Totally. I think it might have been one of these instances where Gretchen wants to take down Tamra without directly taking down Tamra. She didn't want her hands to be dirty.
Well, I mean, this is a very serious accusation. And if somebody actually did this to you, I would also be extremely pissed at them and never want to talk to them or associate with them and want to annihilate them on camera. You know what I mean? That would be like my sole mission. I wouldn't want to tiptoe around it and do it quietly. No, I would want this person to pay for what they did. So I don't get it. I don't get it.
But you have to remember, Kim, you and I are reasonable people. These women are not reasonable, okay? They are not, well, I don't think that they operate the same way that a normal person does. I think they are constantly anticipating like what can extend their career, their run on the show and everything like that. And so I think they try to be really strategic about it. I don't know that I don't know. But it's really confusing as a viewer to try and keep up. And I found myself thinking like, listen, I'm reasonably intelligent and I'm like trying to figure out, so who said what at what time and what actually happened? But then this person did this. And then Kiki, Monique, and Jen and Ryan say this, but Matt and Katie, Matt has no reason to lie. Like, help.
It's extremely confusing. And if Tamra, if this actually did happen, I would think that Tamra would be like a little bit more worried about it, like coming to the surface. Like she is actually the one that brought this to camera. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We see her, she quits the show. She was off of it for all of 20 minutes, half of an episode, and then she's back. We get this dramatic entrance into the therapist office, of course. She's talking about her crash out in NOLA. She said she did that because Teddy didn't answer the phone before dinner. And she just feels like no one cares about her. No one called her. No one is concerned for her. And I think that's simply just because of how you act towards other people, Tamra. Like, I'm not sure. Shannon's left many a dinner, like storming out almost every dinner last season, to be honest. You weren't calling and checking on her. So I don't know. I just feel like it's not a two-way road with Tamra. She expects things from others that she doesn't do herself. And it's like getting a little bit tired dealing with that.
100%. She does reunite with Heather. So we see them going to lunch or dessert or whatever with the hot waiter, Cody, because he said his name twice. Cody was really enjoying his moment in the limelight, you could tell. But hey, do what you got to do, basically an audition. She is saying, like, Tamara's basically spitting her theory to Heather and saying, this is all looking very suspicious because Tamra, sorry, I'm sorry. This is very like confusing for me because Tamra asked Gretchen, like, did you go to the hospital? And in the car, we see Gretchen like, well, I did the next day. And then cut to the confessional where Gretchen says, I didn't go to the hospital, but I should have. And so Tamra's just pointing out all of these inconsistencies. And she's just like, I think Gretchen is behind all of this. And Heather is starting to, pick up on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to pick up on it too, honestly. It's not adding up. Everybody's lying about something. It kind of seems like Tamra didn't know any of this was happening behind the scenes and literally just heard it from the journalist. Like, look, I am not backing Tamra up. I am not Team Tamra. But like, she seems to have brought something to camera to Gretchen that she felt was worthy of discussing with her and didn't know like what was going on behind the scenes. So I don't know. I feel
do you remember the scene in Scream, the original Scream, when the guy's like, everyone's a suspect, you can't trust anyone. That's what it feels like. Everyone is lying. Like, so there's really not a reliable narrator any which way you turn. And they all have a history of lying. So it's really hard to believe anyone.
1000%. They're like team no one. Like there is no side or team to be on at this moment. We already kind of covered those end scenes. We have Jen, Gretchen, and Emily at some random dive bar and Matt and Katie sitting down. And, Katie basically says, this is what Gretchen brought up at this dinner. I'm not going to protect her anymore. And then Slade called Matt to say, hey, what we told you at dinner, keep in confidence. So Katie then repeating that is kind of like a blow to the friendship, obviously. But Gretchen telling her this and then denying it ever happened is also not great either. But next week, we will get some ounce of truth to part of this, because the sneak peek, I saw it on Bravo by Gay's Instagram if you guys want to go check it out. But we get this sit down with Kiki and Gretchen and Gina, who just has inserted herself into this and become the leader. And Kiki confirms that several minutes into their lunch, Gretchen became pretty much the main topic of their conversation. And Katie did, in fact, say all of this to Kiki. And that's kind of where it cuts off. So that's all we know right now. I don't know what journalist Kiki told it to, and, all of this, or if Gretchen admits to Kiki that it actually happened. Who knows? But
well, and that makes sense, honestly, because Kiki has no reason to lie, right? Why would she make this up that Katie said this when she didn't? She has no pony in the race. So Katie, as we know, sometimes forgets what she says, or like says things in a slightly different way. And then when it's brought back to her, she's like, I never. Oh my God, I would never say I didn't like you. Well, okay, so I said I can't stand you, but I never said I didn't like you. And it's like, is it one of those situations? It sounds like probably, but it still seems like it was Gretchen who planted that seed. And so Gretchen faking this denial is now what's become the bigger part of the story.
Right. Yeah. So, I don't know. Honestly, like, it's exhausting. Like, I do kind of, am living for the drama of it all, but it's kind of becoming exhausting to keep up with. And at the end of the day, what we are talking about yet again is a very dark situation. Somebody potentially being drugged by one of their castmates. And I'm seeing a lot of people talk, like, floating online the clips from that episode, which makes me want to go back and watch it. Also, people are saying if you go back and watch it, it's very dark what actually happens. Gretchen does get pretty drunk, and then we have Tamra's son Ryan involved too. So I don't know. Like, it's all fun and games until you like really dig deeper into this situation, like what the accusations are about. So once again, we are left with our comfort shows now becoming these very dark and twisted storylines that, I don't know. Do we need more of that in the world?
No, please no. Please no. we can barely hang on as it is. But you're right. So on the one hand, if Tamra did drug Gretchen in any way, absolutely unacceptable, should not be allowed on this show anymore. On the flip side, if Gretchen is lying and saying that Tamra drugged her and that she has a toxicology report and blah, 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 also extremely fucked up and unacceptable. So either way, like, this is not a situation that I want to be seeing playing out. Like, I get that Gretchen and Tamra have had a feud for a long time, but like, this is too much.
And this sounds like a case for Detective Megan King Edmonds, because we know that she was the one that unfolded the Brooks cancer scheme. So we need her.
Get those hospital records, Megan.
Get the hospital records. Get the toxicology report. Let's see what was in her system. Let's compare it to what Tamra had access during the night. Let's do the detective work to get to the bottom of this, because I will not rest until we know the truth.
Yeah, it's just so crazy that if Gretchen did go to the hospital, get a toxicology report, says that she was roofied, like, then why is she denying it,
Exactly. That's probably the main question. Why would she deny it? Why wouldn't she come at Tamra with full force? And why wouldn't she have come to Tamra with full force back then?
Right.
So it's very confusing. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have theories, facts, if you guys have been digging up, doing the detective work yourself, please let us know in the comments. This is an ongoing investigation. And we'll keep you updated on everything that we find out. So make sure to follow
Now,
us.
listen. Oh, I was just going to say, we don't want to violate any HIPAA laws. So, like, don't go hacking into the hospital system in Orange County. But
Well, that won't be on us. If you guys do it, that's fine. Won't be on us. But yeah, I mean, somebody got Brooks's records, so it's obviously doable. Um, so I don't know, but make sure to follow us on Instagram at Bravo Breaking News and at Lisa Not Rinna, and we'll be kind of sharing our opinions as this all unfolds.
thank you guys so much for watching and listening. We appreciate you all, and we will talk again next week.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye.